Today we're gonna check out Matsumoto Castle. It's in Nagano Prefecture, probably about 4 hours drive from Tokyo. This is the entrance right here. It looks like they offer tour guides for free. I'm just gonna go over here to the information map so I can kind of get an idea of where I'm going. So it looks like we're right here at the entrance. This is gonna be the main castle area. It's called the Tenshu Castle Keep. And then this looks like it's a former site of a palace, another palace, a museum, a castle park, some administrative shops, and some other things. This is gonna be like the family, I'm not sure if that's like a crest or what they call it, but it's basically denoting the family itself. I guess we're gonna check this out at some point here. So we'll make our way over there. But first, we're gonna go around to these other areas. This is probably my favorite thing to do when I come to Japan, is to go to the castles. Been to a couple of castles before. I'm gonna continue going and checking out these castles. There's hundreds of castles still. So this is the ticketing area. So this is the ticket entrance area right here. Alright, so it says Matsumoto Castle and the surrounding town. It is estimated to have been between 1593 and 1594 when the main structure of Matsumoto Castle was built by Kazumasa and Yasunaga Ishikawa. The castle area was set out within its 3 surrounding moats. The Homoru and the Neomaru palaces were constructed within the inner compound, while the Sanomaru area was developed in the outer compound. At this time, the entire area covered approximately 39 HA. Facilities of the lord of the castle and the domain, such as the Tenshu Castle Keep, the palaces and storehouses, were within the inner compound. So that appears to be right here. This looks like the inner compound right here, this entire area more than likely. These are probably like the storage and things right here. But this is the main castle keep. A continuous earthen wall was built around the entire 3.5 kilometer long fort perimeter on top of the earthen embankment, making it the only passage to the outer castle compound through the Koguchi entrance with a strictly secure gate. Outside, a castle town was set out with temples and shrines placed around it. Samurai and commoners did not live together, and residential areas were allocated to one's social status and occupation. So it looks like this is the Tenshu Castle Keep. This is the Homaru Palace. This is the Kuroman Gate. This is the Neomaru Palace. And then it looks like there's a bunch of other gates and whatnot. Alright, we're going to check out this entrance right here. As you can see, kind of a grand entrance to go in. Let's walk on in here. I think some of this stuff is original, but some of this stuff is not actually original. Probably most of it right here is original, but I know there's parts that are reconstructed. So this is a Japanese armor replica. This is the metal clothes that the samurai wore in past when fighting with sword and arrow in the battlefields. It is Japanese protective equipment that is mainly consists of yoro. I guess this is the yoroi, and then this is the kabuto up there. Yoroi is to protect body and kabuto is to protect head. So this is obviously a replica. This is not the real thing, but looks pretty close to what might be the real thing. Alright, now this is one thing that they have at a lot of places here. They have these travel memory stamps. So you basically can stamp it with a picture of this castle. Alright, let's go on in to this castle. So this is the main castle, and I think this is one of the original castles. I'm sure they've had to do some maintenance of this castle over the years to keep it looking like this. But a lot of the castles have been destroyed during wars and fires and things like that. But I think this is one of the original castles that still has like the main structure that was built back in the 1500s. I'm not sure exactly what this is. They're probably setting up for some type of event or festival. Now, what's interesting about this particular castle is that the whole city is kind of built up still around the castle. So like you can see out that way, there's a door that is pretty much an exit. Not a public exit, of course, but an area that you could actually go and walk to. So this is actually on the list of structures designated as a national treasure of Japan. It was designated back November 19th, 1930 was the former site of these various different palaces. And then it looks like the keep itself was designated in April 20th, 1936. So this was a former palace site, and then this was actually probably another former palace site as well. Again, a lot of these structures have pretty much burned down to the ground during wars and things like that. But some of the castles have actually been reconstructed as replicas of what the old castle used to look like. But again, this is one of the few remaining original castles that remain in Japan. So we already got our ticket. I think it was probably like $7-8 to go inside, which I think is very reasonable. $7 or $8 to go do something. There's nothing you can do in the US for $7 or $8 anymore, so I think that's very interesting. It looks to me like the cherry blossoms are kind of in bloom out here still. Alright, this is my ticket. I'm going in. 700 yen, which is probably about less $5 really. Alright, so we're inside the castle. This would be kind of a position that maybe one of their defense people would be taking. They got these kind of like spaces on the outsides of the windows where you could probably use a weapon to shoot outside in case there was attackers on the outside of the moat. Now, we actually have to take our shoes off when we come in, so they give you this bag where you could take off your shoes. But they said that we can't take pictures near the stairs. So this is what it looks like down here when you come into the entrance at the front. And then I'm not exactly sure what this whole area was for here. Okay, so this entire floor was meant for soldiers and samurais to protect the castle from attack. So this is the main level. When we came in, we actually went up these stairs, and the stairs are like 2 feet up for one step. So again, this is another defense position. And this is a view from inside. This is another defense position. Ishiotoshi. These projecting shells are called ishiotoshi that were constructed at intervals along the first floor for dropping stones on the enemy who were attempting to scale the castle walls. So they would drop stones down here on the enemies if they were trying to come up the castle wall to try to breach the castle. Looks like they have some intricate artwork here. I'm not sure exactly what this is. A dragon? It looks like a dragon to me. Alright, and here's another position here. defensive position. You can see that they have several of those along the sides of the wall. So you can imagine at any given time, if they were under attack, then those would be used. This appears to be another piece of artwork. A pair of sashi from the main keep. Example of ornaments traditionally placed on a castle, temple, and roofs as protective charms against fire. Sashi are mythical sea creatures that have the face of a tiger or a dragon and the body of a fish. Okay. So in the other castles that I came to before, they did not actually look like this, or we weren't able to access this particular level. Okay, so you can see why photography is not allowed by the stairs. The stairs is like very treacherous. It is a very treacherous area, so I think that they don't want you taking pictures by the stairs because they don't want you to get hurt. This looks like another area that you would go to kind of as a defensive position. Let me back up a little bit so I can show you guys what that looks like. And then that's down where we just were, where the palaces used to be. So again, the palaces have burned down, but we started out over there in that corner, and then we walked down this main area right here, went over there, and then came into the castle. Alright, this appears to be some weapons that were used. I'm not really a gun enthusiast, but these do look like interesting weapons from this particular period. Looks like they had some long rifles. And then as you can see, there's various different defensive positions that can be taken around the castle itself. So this is near where we came in by the main entrance right here. So I guess these are called matchlock gun barrels. I'm not really a big gun enthusiast, but I'm showing you the different parts that go inside of. And apparently there's 4-leaf guns, barrels, and they're giving you the specific caliber of the weapon itself and then the weight of the weapon. Let's go back over here. Alright, this is a much more clear view of where we walked in by the main entrance. I'm gonna go back over here to look like there was some more people over there. I'm gonna try to get a shot of the steps over here so you guys can see why they don't let you take any photos by the stairs. It's kind of treacherous. So this is the gun museum. This is the castle's main tower that was built between 1593 and 1594. The Bunroku era, year 2 and 3. 50 years after the matchlock rifle was first introduced in Japan. So a lot of these guns actually came from Europe. These guns were not native to Japan. So this technology was foreign to them, but I'm sure they acquired this technology through trading with their limited number of trading partners that they had during that time period. So this right here appears to be a how-to guide for foot soldiers. Foot soldiers were poorly paid, equipped, fed, and they needed more than combat skills to survive a campaign. Johu Monogatari instructs soldiers on how to smear crushed hot red peppers on their legs to keep warm, start fires with horse manure, make soup from rope or tree bark, and bury plundered food and clothing in enemy territory. Gunnery is extensively covered. So this right here, this is a how-to guide. And then this is an illustrated guide on the weapons themselves and probably actually how to use the weapons. All right. This is the gunner's gear that the gunners wore. Alright, so these are called lattice windows. On the second and fourth floors are lattice windows called Mushimato or warrior's windows. The windows are hinged to allow easy opening and clothing by either pushing out or pulling in. This was useful to keep out frequent heavy winds and rain. The daylight and moonlight, which streams in through the lattices, projects beautiful patterns on the floor. So you can look out these lattices and then get a view of the moat itself. Alright, this is another view of the stairs. You can see up. Alright, so apparently you can't take a picture of the stairs itself. Otherwise, that's violating the code over here. I didn't think I could. Okay, this is a little bit more information about the specific guns. So now these probably are later model guns. These are actually introduced in the 1800s. So you've got a Colt Navy 1851 from the United States, another Colt Navy 1861 from the United States, and then a Colt Police model from 1862. These guns here appear to be earlier guns. I'm not exactly sure where they're from, because I cannot read kanji, so I do not know what that says. And then this appears to be some rifles that are muzzle loaders and breech loaders and some other accessories that would be used with these specific weapons. And there's some other tools for casting, processing gunpowder case, and then bullet casting molds. This says the Siege of Osaka 1614 and 15. Dutch and Portuguese cannons were used and produced for that battle. And then this piece of artwork is depicting what that looked like. And it looks like some other interesting weapons here. So that looks pretty interesting. Never really seen a cannon like that before. But I like the artwork from these periods because it shows what actually was happening. It looked like there was a bunch of people fighting, and then the different factions are carrying their different banners. The different families that are fighting are carrying their different banners, and then there's people actually trying to scale the wall of the castle. This is a Dutch naval cannon. Doesn't look too high tech, but I'm sure at the time it was very high tech. I'm sure that could probably definitely cause some damage. And that has a bullet case. Alright, so I think this is the 5th floor up here. It looks like there's a nice view of the castle moat. And then you can see the city is developed around the castle. Looks like down in the moat are some huge carp swimming around in there. Alright, back to the tour here. So they give you this visitor route right here. So you have to follow these arrows to wherever you're going pretty much, but there's a lot of people in here. It's kind of weird seeing everybody with a bag with their shoes in it. But some of the other castles actually give you a place to put your shoes before you go in. You'd have the opportunity to take your shoes off and then leave your shoes right at the front of maybe one of their palaces or something like that. As you can see here, there's more defensive positions next to the lattice windows. And these will be used to fend off attackers. Alright, so we just came up the stairs back here. Very treacherous, very, very dangerous. This is the first little area. It's kind of like a little nook over here. This is probably another defensive position because there's holes in the window right here. So you probably could shoot a weapon outside of that. So we actually had to kind of crouch down to get in that space over there. And then again, more defensive positions up here. Let's find out what this floor is all about. not the easiest to get into. So if you're older, it's gonna be hard to navigate. I'm sure some older people can get up here, but it's kind of a tight fit up here in some of these spots. Oh, those are. All right, let's go around here and see what it says. So this is another spot within the castle. That's the first kind of defensive position over there, and then the corners. And then this is probably another position that they could defend the castle right here. Alright, this appears to be a very good view of this corner of the castle. I'm not sure where we're at here, but there's another gentleman taking a lot of pictures right here. So just wanted to come up here and give you guys a quick view of what that looks like. Now it appears as if we can go over here in the middle of this room and figure out what this 5th floor is all about. So it says the 5th floor likely would have been used as a planning room in the event of an attack. The floor's wide latticed windows face each of the 4 cardinal directions, making it possible to monitor the area in and around the castle compound while behind safety. So again, I figured this was totally a defensive position. And you can see what the ceiling looks like. Alright, I gotta cut the camera off because we're going up to the next level and we can't do any videoing around the stairs. Alright, so we came up these last set of stairs and it looks like there's, on the top level is meant to be a small shrine here. Again, probably another defensive position for the castle. And then over here, people are trying to get a good view of the city from here. It looks like you can get a real good view of what's going on back there. This is part of what the shrine is. So this 4th floor is dedicated to being the shrine, the guardian deity of Matsumoto Castle. So this guardian deity up here protects the castle from probably intruders, fire, enemies. And then I think if worst case scenario, they had still had more opportunities to defend the castle from intruders up here. Alright, as you can see over here to the left, over here, that's actually where we came in. So that's the main entrance right over here. I'm sticking my finger out this little skinny window over here to show you guys. But that appears to be the entrance of the castle itself. And then in the background they said this is Mount Higashi, Shiojiri Pass, Utoi Pass, and the Chuo Alps. So as we were coming in here, we got to see some very beautiful mountain ranges that pretty much surround this entire castle. I'm gonna go over here. Get a look of this side. I'm not sure if this is the east side or not, but so this is the path that we actually walked up right here before we went that way to walk around to where you can get into the castle. And then I'm sure at some point before there was probably more of these sakura cherry blossom trees. There was probably like covered down here because all of these castles have tons of cherry blossom trees. Okay, so that's the east side, that's the north side, that's the west side, and then this is the south side over here. So on the east side you have other mountain ranges. You've got the Takashimi Peak, you've got Mount Hakamagoshi, you've got Mount Yake, Mount Ugatsu, you've got Sanjiro Foothills, Mount Chasu, and Kanpo Peak on this side. Okay, so this is actually talking about the deity itself. I can't really read this, so I'm gonna have to pull out my Google Lens and see if it can translate. Going right to Google Lens. I don't know if it's gonna be able to translate this because it's kind of dark. We'll give it a go. Alright, so it says 26 Night God. It is said to have been enshrined by the Todo clan, who moved to Matsumoto in 1617 and believed in worshipping a 26-day moon in each month of Todo clan. Weighed 3 koku, 3 do, 3 sho, 3 go, and 3 koku, approximately 500 kilograms. And it is said that it was rice, that the rice was boiled and offered. It is said that it is thanks to the 26th Night God that Matsumoto Castle had survived this day without suffering from any disasters such as fire. Alright, I'm gonna get back in line here and head on down. Again, we cannot videotape by the exit because it's kind of treacherous. Alright, so we just came down these stairs. Like I was saying, these stairs are like 1.5 feet or almost 2 feet to go up one stair. So it's kind of tough to make it up there. So it says that right now this is the 4th floor. On the 4th floor and above, the castle's interior changes considerably. The ceilings are higher. There are more windows and pillars. All have been planned smooth. Unlike the lower floors, there are no small holes in the pillars here, but the open space is believed to have been divided into 3 rooms using curtains and folding screens. The largest partition on the 4th floor is the sitting room where the daimyo, which would have occupied during a siege. This room is separated from the rest of the floor by thin bamboo blinds, which indicate the high status of its intended occupant. So you can see these bamboo blinds all around the room over here. It looks like we cannot go over there. Apparently it's probably dangerous. So we're gonna go back this way and keep going on down. So again, there's more defensive positions here within the castle. And then that's just a view of what the ceiling looked like. Alright, so we just came back down. The 4th floor is unoccupied. So a lot of these castles have hidden floors. Alright, so we just came back down from the 4th floor over here. We were actually up on the 5th floor. The 4th floor is empty. No one is actually on the 4th floor. So, not quite sure why, but some of these castles have like a hidden floor. And then this appears to be some artifacts. So there's some candle plates, there's imported porcelain, there's some shells, fish bone, and then a small container with a cap, and then tableware and food stuff. Alright, this is another view from this level outside. You can see the main entrance over there along with the moat. Looks like there's some ducks swimming in the moat right now. Today is a really nice day to be here. It's pretty sunny, very sunny, like hardly any clouds in the sky. And the temperature is about 60 degrees. A little bit kind of chilly, but nice. Not too breezy. Alright, here appears to be some money. This is tobacco pipes and ghost stones. This looks like some type of form of currency. Some antique coins. And then these are ink stones, an order tablet, and some roof tiles. Alright. We're gonna go downstairs to the next level here. Alright, so it appears as if there's some architectural differences within these floors. So on this side where I'm at right now, it says this is the main castle tower built during the Sengoku period, but on the other side it says from here is the Tatsumi turret, which was added during the Edo period. So the architecture or some of the artifacts on this side of the castle are actually different than some of the artifacts that we're going to see on this other side of the castle. I'm not a huge historian, so I'm not really going to be able to probably notice any major architectural changes, but that's what that says on the ground, so it's worth noting. Alright, so this says it's the Tatsumi Tsukiyagura. This minor keep, in addition constructed circa 1636, is called Tatsumi Tsukiyagura because it stands for Tatsumi, or southeast of the main tower. Contained within the keep is a kato mado, literally meaning bud-shaped window, the first introduced from China into Japan in the 13th century. It was a staple of Chinese Chan, Japanese Zan Buddhist architecture, and gradually was incorporated into Japanese castle design. So back this way is the room that we just came from, and then this is the new room that we just actually came into right here. Pretty interesting to look at some of these doors. I would assume that this door is probably original. This is the window that they were discussing right here. This bud-shaped window. appears as if there's just some more artillery in here. I guess I'm less fascinated by the artillery and probably more fascinated by the view that I could get outside of these windows right here. This is a really beautiful view right here. Let them enjoy that view if they want to. This is the view of the case right here with more weaponry, gunpowder, bamboo, and things like that. Alright, now this appears to be additional bullets and things like that. So assortment of bullets, a signal bell, some rods to load up a rifle, a matchlock gun case. That looks like a bullet case right there. And this is a lacquered battle helmet made of Japanese paper. Wow. Ah, a telescope. Pretty interesting. Alright, so this is the Kadomato window. So there's two of those in here, one over there that I showed you, and then another window on the other side over here. Alright, I'm gonna give you a view of the entire room since everybody cleared out. One more view around this room. All right, we're gonna head down to the next floor. I'm not sure if that's the second floor or not. All right, so we just came down these stairs right here. I'm gonna back up and show you what that looks like. These stairs, like I said, are very treacherous. This looks kind of like the door that we just saw on the level upstairs. And then this looks like it is the side. I don't know if this is the side that we came into because that looks blocked off. But you can get an up close look of what it actually looks like. Some of those defensive positions where they can actually shoot out of. And then I'm gonna go over here into this other room over here and see if I can get some pictures over here. But this room is like wide open. This room has some very, very gorgeous views. Yeah, this is a very beautiful day today, almost a perfect day to be coming out to check out this castle. Looking in the distance, you can see the mountain ranges. Very beautiful, very scenic. Alright, and then as we can see up here, the Matsumoto Castle is restored in the Meiji era. So the Meiji era was from 1868 to 1912. After the Meiji Restoration in 1868, a new government established a modern military that employed Western-style equipment and tactics. Wooden fortifications were deemed obsolete, and many castles were demolished.
Very lovely. Very, very lovely.
So this castle was in fact restored at some point. So not all of the artifacts in the castle are original, but a lot are. So we just came out of this entrance. As you can see, the steps are very treacherous going in, and I just want to give you an up-close shot of what the castle actually looks like on the outside from this particular vantage point. So this is where we actually came in over here. And then this is the main castle keep. That's a secondary keep. And then this is where we came out. So that room up there is where we were just taking video, where you had that amazing view of the moat, as well as some pretty amazing mountain view shots as well. So if you look at this, just look at the architecture of this. Look how this thing has been constructed and put together. It's crazy to think that these castles have been able to withstand the test of time. Now, again, some parts of the castle are reproductions, but for the most part, if you look at it, it's pretty awesome to just even appreciate the architecture. All right, we're gonna walk out. Looks like we got this garden area here. Not the prettiest castle I've been to so far, but still very nice. So it looks like this is a listing of all the castles in Japan. I'd like to maybe visit all of these castles one day. Right now I've only been to, this is my third castle that I've been able to go to so far. But you can see there's tons and tons of castles here. Alright, I have been to this one. This is the Nijo Castle. This is in Kyoto. And that was actually pretty amazing. This other castle I've been to is the Osaka Castle. This is a pretty amazing castle. Compared to these other two castles, the grounds of this castle is pretty small, and this castle is definitely not as grand as the Osaka Castle. The Osaka Castle has been restored, so this is mainly a replica, so of course it's going to be very nice. The Nijo Castle is actually has original parts, and when we went in there, it just pretty much blew my mind. This is another castle that I'd like to go to. This is one of another castles, the Himeji Castle. All right, but you could see there's still a lot of castles that are still standing. And there's a lot of castles that are not standing. However, the castle, different parts of it are still there. All right, so I got a lot of work to do if I'm gonna go to these other castles. It looks like out of these 50 castles, I have 47 more castles to go to. I don't think that's gonna happen on this trip, but I am gonna try to check out more of these castles.
Just wait, and the thing you most desire can be obtained. This phrase is thought to be the origin of the name Matsumoto. Rather than making a decision rashly, ponder it, sit, take this time to go on a journey. Rather packing on silver, choose Lizzie's Matsumoto Castle to acquire their homes. Why is the hidden thrill waiting for you?
So we toured the castle, and it appears as if they have a souvenir shop right here. I'm gonna go into the souvenir shop real quick. Looks like they have like a scale model kit right here of the castle. That's pretty cool. Those look pretty interesting down there. Alright, let's check out the other side. Looks like it's pretty full in here. That looks pretty interesting. Maybe I might get one of those. Interesting. All right, we came into Matsumoto Castle. We toured it. We went all the way up to the top. Now we're actually on our way out. So again, this is the main entrance. Wow, that looks interesting. I don't know if that was originally like that or not. Probably not. They probably constructed that to hold that other piece in place. And then you can see some of the other pieces like these steel beams. That's definitely not original, but again, they had to make some modifications to this place. So I'm gonna get up out of here. But again, a very, very interesting trip. I love coming to these castles and exploring what Japan has to offer. By the way, you can actually get a guided tour guide. So they have tour guides that speak English, and they were actually available for free. I didn't want to do that just because it's more fun to kind of explore by yourself. But maybe next time, if I visit this castle again, I would actually do that. I don't know if this guy is giving rides with that. Probably actually giving rides. So you spend 70,000 yen and get a ride back to your car or wherever you're going. Probably locally around here. But this is actually a shot from the front side of the moat. Looks really interesting. And it looks like they have some seating over here. Again, not the most extravagant castle I've been to, but nonetheless, still very interesting experience. Alright, this is like the backside view. I think where they actually had us go in was like the back door. That's what it looks like to me. This kind of looks more formal. Like the front entrance right here. But they probably do that to preserve the land and the structure and everything else. Down in this moat, it appears as if there's a lot of carp in there, a lot of fish. It does not even look that deep. Now, I don't know what's in there. That appears to be like sand. So maybe they've modified this so that they could manage it better. But I can't imagine that this was this shallow originally. That just wouldn't make that much sense to me. But then again, I don't know. Maybe it was like this. Looks like there probably might have been a garden. This was probably the garden back here. of the front of the castle. I think this is where people actually came in. This looks to me like the formal entrance. You can definitely see a lot of wear and tear on this thing, so this might actually be original. I don't know. But this looks like the formal entrance. I don't think that they would have their esteemed guests coming in through the back door. I don't know about that. And then again, back here appeared to be a garden area. And at some point, these sakura trees were probably all like healthy and vibrant. So these trees back here are like hanging on to their last bit of life, because you can see they're not really producing much at all.